Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome to Tim Kerfen's House Talk. And here we are again. It's our first show of the new year, so we're pretty excited about kicking off this new year. And we're hoping that in the real estate business period, this is going to be a great year. So welcome. To my right here, I have Frank Vosshaller and Randy Barcella. Frank's an attorney, and Randy's appraiser. Two top-notch guys in the local area. Frank's out of Tinley Park area, and Randy's out of the Homer Glen area, serving all these locations. Guys, how you doing?
Happy New Year. Great.
Good, Tim. How are you?
Good. Good New Year?
Yeah. I think 2018 is going to be one of the biggest years that we've seen in a long time.
I think so, guys. I really do. Just everything that's going on, I think it's going to be a great year. Frank, what do you think?
I also think that. I mean, it's going to be, I have goals for myself this year that are going to far exceed 2017. So I'm
Same here.
looking forward
Yeah,
to
same
it.
here.
With the new office and stuff, you hope so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Gotta
Interest
fill that
rates are low. The economy is booming. The stock market is booming. It's the highest 1,000-point rise in the stock market in the history of the stock market. So
And I got to say,
all the realtors I'm talking to in Chicago Southland also think it's going to be a great year.
Yeah, I got to say, for Christmas break and New Year's, that 2 weeks there, I was pretty busy. I was surprised.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Those are 2 weeks where I'm just hearing crickets. Normally with you guys too, right?
I'm always slow from
And that's why you take vacations at that time.
I would say December 20th to March 1st, I'm always slow. I am not slow at all. It's been busy every week so far, and I think because the interest rates are good, the home prices are good, there's a lack of inventory on the market right now that it's
everybody complains about that.
it's
Am I right?
stable.
Yeah.
It's stable. Everything's stable now. There's no issues in the economy right now in
Hey
real
guys,
estate.
before we get into it, I just want to talk about this because I got 3 emails about GFIs in the last 2-3 weeks. Okay.
What's a GFI?
Well, it's an acronym: ground fault circuit interrupter. Okay, people want to know where are these supposed to go, and do you have to put them in? No, you don't have to put them in. But what these are outlets, and they go in near any water source: exterior, kitchen, bathroom, garage, basement if it's unfinished. And I highly recommend you install these. Okay, so what this is, it's an outlet. If you drop a blender or a toaster in the kitchen sink, and you're getting electrocuted, they shut off. So you'll appreciate that. So, yeah, right. And they're $10, $12 for a decent one. So I highly recommend them. And they come in different colors: white, brown. Normally, the standard ones everybody's used to seeing, I think, are the white outlet with the black
And the red
reset buttons. So, anyways, but I'd highly recommend these. Have a professional electrician install these because they have to be installed right to work right. So, and the trick is how you'll know if they're operating. Most of the time, if the button resets and resets and trips, they work properly. So you want to put these near any water source. This is a ground fault circuit interrupter. Home Depot. You get them up at go see Dan up at Ace Hardware. He'll show you a couple different styles that they have. They have an outlet style and a breaker style. Highly recommend them. No, you don't have to put them in, but you really need to. If you're getting electrocuted, you're covered. Mm-hmm. So same thing with bathrooms. Really important to have these installed in the bathroom, and you should loop everything through a GFI in the bathroom, like your lighting.
I would recommend getting a home inspection done when you're getting ready to sell your house, because Tim Kerfen will recommend that you put the GFCI outlets in your kitchen and bathroom, so once people come through and look at your house, they'll feel better.
Yeah, not only that, they're not trying to get $100 a GFI versus you put one in for $10, $15.
Yes.
That's the other thing too. So I highly recommend these. There's a lot of other things that go along with them. A lot of other things that you should loop through GFIs or GFI protected. But those are the basics. If you want any more information on it, you can call me at 708-935-3453.
And I'll let you know,
KerfenInspections.com.
About 80% of the inspection reports that come over, GFCIs are always asked for.
Yeah, it's not. I always say it's not an inspection without a loose toilet or a GFI.
Love
it.
That's
always.
Yep.
You know, it's such an inexpensive thing to do when you're selling your house.
Right.
How could
right.
you?
It's the most basic thing.
Yes.
The most basic thing. So you want to put these in. Highly
And even if
recommended.
an appraiser does or does not call for anything like that, it doesn't matter. Do it. It's safety.
Right.
Yeah.
And do people normally put these in for the buyer?
Yes.
Okay.
Or the buyer will do it for
They'll get some kind of credit or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least 80% of people, you always see that on there.
It's always on.
Yeah.
Always.
Loose toilets, smoke detectors, carbons.
The one thing you could talk about too is what I see a lot in the inspection reports is like you don't need one for each outlet in the kitchen, right? It just needs to be one on the same circuit, right?
Well, that's a great question. That's why you have a licensed electrician, because you don't. If you got 5 outlets in the kitchen, you have 2 or 3 circuits. You don't put these on every outlet. You put one on the main circuit.
Good question.
And,
I didn't know that.
And the other 3 outlets are downstream. So you don't put one
So
in
they're
each
all going
outlet.
to stop.
Exactly.
Okay.
So if you have 10 of these,
You're
in
going
your
to cut off the
kitchen-
circuit by the one.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have 10 of these in your kitchen. You're going to pop. You're going to be like, hey, which one's popped? So, anyways, yeah. So one per circuit. 20 amps you could put up to a 20 amp you could put up to 12 outlet or 13 outlets on one GFI. 15 amps you could put up to 10 outlets on a GFI. So you can have this plus 12 more on the same GFI. So if it's a 15 amp, you can have this plus 10 more on a GFI. Okay. That's how it works. But have a professional come in. I guarantee you'll save money. And not only that, if you're getting electrocuted, they'll shut off like they're supposed to. You'll appreciate that.
Well, I've just had a lot of questions from people in the past who have asked about the GFCIs and say, well, he only put one on. And I'm like, that's all you need.
Right,
You
right.
don't need one for each individual
Right,
outlet.
and it's a hard thing for people to understand. But go see Dan up at Ace. He'll fill you in and what's right.
And he probably has a list of local electricians that'll help
I
out.
believe he does.
Or handyman.
And if you need one, call me 708-935-3453. And but these are things you guys hear every day, all day long.
Minor.
You know, you
Good
go
investment.
to bed going, oh, GFI. That's all right. So, anyways, hey, I'm glad to see you guys. And it's like you said, we're hoping it's gonna be a great year. Excited about it, and I'm kind of gearing up for summer like you guys are. But before we get into you, Frank, I also got an email that last time for our Christmas show that the process to hire an attorney for a real estate transaction.
Okay.
Can you kind of give me an idea? The guy calls you.
Absolutely. The process is very easy for me. I'm very technology savvy, so I mean, I can start working for you in a text message.
Yeah.
Phone number 708-341-2060. When you're ready to get started and you go out with an agent and you start the process, you want someone to look over the contract before you submit it or after you submit it. There's a 5-day attorney review period, so I can take care of it in there. But as soon as I get the contract, I look it over to make sure the tax prorations are right. Everything in the contract is initialed and signatured correctly, because once you send it to the lender, they're going to ask for that stuff to be fixed. And in order to not prolong the process, it's better to have it done the first time. Make sure the disclosures are in there. And then once we get through the contract stage, you're going to call Tim for your inspection. And then he's going to send me the inspection report along with you. We're going to go over it together. And we will discuss anything that is a safety hazard that needs to be fixed. Once that happens and we do the negotiations of figuring out credits, if they're going to fix something, we move forward. And that's when Randy comes out and does the appraisal. Once the appraisal comes back at the level that it needs to be in order to move forward, then we move forward to a closing. And then I'm at the table with you explaining all the documents or preparing the deeds or whatever else needs to be done in order to successfully close.
So if somebody's buying a house and they don't have the attorney when they're looking to, and they sign the contract, they don't necessarily have to have the attorney at the signing of the contract, because I think you just said they got 5 days to get an attorney. So that's nice.
For you to review it
That's
and say,
nice.
hey,
Make
what's
any,
going on
make any
there?
changes that need to be made, correct.
Yeah.
So
okay.
contact you by text or phone call
Well,
with
the
advice.
other question was what about condominiums? If there's a
HOA?
yeah, the HOA. What about if there's a special assessment?
Special assessments in the contract, 6.1 boilerplate contract says that the seller is responsible for any assessments that are currently due before they close.
Okay.
So they would have to pay
So,
those.
so what the person was asking, so if there's assessment on the books right now, upgraded balconies, $1,000, it's up to the seller to pay that grand.
That grant would have to be paid before the closing happens.
Okay,
Or
so
at closing.
what if they're anticipating that they're going to have a special assessment next summer for $1,000?
If it hasn't been imposed yet, then they're not responsible for it.
Okay.
But once you disclose that, the attorneys get involved, and usually you reach some kind of agreement on that.
Okay, probably meet in the middle or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then what about condominium documents like the HOA regs and all that?
Under the contract, you're supposed to get them within 10 business days after you sign the contract. They usually come a little bit later because sometimes the associations take a little bit longer, and a lot of times you really don't want to incur, because with these associations charge anywhere between $300 to $600 to get these documents.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're quite expensive. So a lot of times with my clients, I don't like to get those things until I know that the inspection issues are done.
Place is going.
Yeah,
it's going to
go forward. So I wait until after the inspection period is over. And once that's going forward, then I order the documents for them, because I I don't like to
I thought they're passed down from owner to owner. You have to pay for a new set.
paid assessment letter,
Really?
22.1
Wow.
disclosures, that kind
Because
of
those things are like that.
Yeah.
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 that kind of stuff. These associations have gotten smart where they add this stuff all together and they'll charge you $180 and $150 for 22.1 disclosure and paid assessment letter, and then they'll throw in a little extra charge for the other things. So a lot of people don't keep, the big stack of papers, but now we're starting to get into electronic age. And what I do with my clients
That boom, it's a button, yeah.
is I have a database of all the associations, and I keep all of that stuff
Oh,
in the
that's smart.
database. So
That's
when I
smart.
have a new client come on, if they don't have them, I might have them in my collection already.
Yeah, because
Oh, there goes
there
Terry
it
again.
is. And I had it off too. What was I going to say? I've had situations where people moved into condos and they only allow a dog under 40 pounds.
Yeah, that happens a lot.
You know, I see that a lot, and I don't know how that's missed. I also get in a condo and they find out a year later that there's an assessment coming that everybody knew about. I mean, is there any recourse on any of that?
As far as the dog, I mean, that's really comes down to the real estate agent when they're initially getting into the loan. They can contact the association themselves and get that information from them.
Yeah.
But I always ask my clients when we get to that stage, like, is there anything that might hinder you with this association?
Okay.
So I ask about dogs.
Yeah.
If it is a dog, I ask if it's a therapy animal, because if it's a therapy animal, then it doesn't matter what you say.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
under the
Yeah,
ADA, they're
okay.
getting in.
So it doesn't matter if it's a German Shepherd or a little
No, it's a therapy dog.
therapy animal.
I had a couple of appraisals
Interesting.
where they went to start cooking out with their grill on the balcony,
Yeah. No.
and they couldn't, and they didn't, and they were so upset that they could not.
But a
have
lot of
the grill on
associations don't allow
but
it.
they didn't look into the documents to find out that in the fine print it says you cannot put a grill on the deck because the deck is wood and the whole.
Yeah. I would be bummed out if I couldn't grill. I just got
But
to
the
be honest.
condo complex right across the parking lot, the builder decided to put concrete balconies and in the same, or
They can do it,
association,
but they can't.
They can put a grill on their deck,
Yeah.
outside the living room area there, because it was all concrete and steel. But
Yeah.
across the street was framed. So if you like to grill out in the summertime on your deck, you better look in the bylaws because.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
that's a great point with the grills, because I have run across that before.
yeah.
And who's gonna run down from the third floor out
No
to
one.
the grass in the middle of the
No one.
courtyard and then
No
come
one.
back upstairs?
No.
Tho-
Then go back
are,
downstairs.
but those are things you got to watch out for buying a
Yes.
condo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a single family house or a townhouse. The same thing.
Generally, people who buy condos aren't really outside people, though, so grilling isn't
Yeah,
the
right.
biggest issue with that.
Right. It's just like buying a condo without a balcony or anything. How do you? I couldn't. I would have to have a balcony or something.
Yeah, you need some kind of outside source.
Yeah. But now when you talk about, now let me ask you something. What do you do when Randy's appraisal comes in too low or too high? Doesn't matter. But if it comes in too low, that's a problem, right?
Yeah, if it comes in too low, I mean, you look at their appraisal. Obviously, we're not licensed appraisers, so I can only, what I go off on, and I see if there's other comps in the area that maybe they missed, which I guess it might happen.
See, but I hear stuff all the time. Well, we had a guy from Gurnee come on to do something here, and they get a guy locally, and it comes back where it's supposed to be.
Typically, what I see when an appraisal comes in low, and it doesn't happen that often that I see, but if an appraisal comes in low, then everybody knows about it. So now you go back for a reconsideration in value. So maybe the attorney, the homeowner, the two realtors that are involved, they look back in the MLS, or maybe they find some for sales by owner that were not on the MLS. So then they'll submit the new comparable sales to the appraisal. So let's say the house sold for $250,000 and the appraisal came in for $230,000, but they came back with 3 or 4 new comparable sales that says yes, it really is worth it. So if the appraiser missed this information, it's the responsibility of the appraiser to redo the appraisal and increase the appraised value to the selling price, which is $250,000, not $230,000. But there's been, unfortunately, some incidents where appraisers, they get stubborn and they have an attitude, and they came in low and they're not budging. It's unfortunate, but
Yeah.
but there is the option to submit additional comparable sales for reconsideration of value. But good
Now,
point.
if it's
yeah.
FHA, that appraisal stays with that for 6 months. Isn't that correct?
Not necessarily, because if it's a new mortgage company with a new buyer and a new deal, the appraised value may have been incorrect because it was in dispute and it never got resolved. So
So what do they assign a new FHA case number, but does that appraiser still stick with the property address, or is it because they got a new FHA appraiser or a new FHA number, it won't change?
It should change. The rules have changed over the years now. It used to be when you got an appraisal and it was set there and you got to use that other appraisers but the rules have changed now, the new HUD guidelines.
What does a normal appraisal cost?
It's by size of a house. Typically in Northern Illinois and Chicago Southland, the appraisals are typically $350 to $550, and it depends on the size of the house.
2,000 square foot home.
The basic
normally.
$350.
Okay.
You have a jumbo house, 4,000 square feet in Nishnala here.
550.
Probably 550. And apartment buildings are 650. 2, 3, and 4 unit apartment buildings are typically 550 to 650.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about your fees?
On the sales side, it's straight $100. Doesn't matter how big the house is.
No way.
Yep.
I've never heard of an attorney fees that low in my life.
But you're making your money off the insurance, right?
The title.
I didn't know that.
People don't know that, and a lot of attorneys don't bring it up. You know, you sign a disclosure statement at the end of at the closing, which you know sets out what it is. But these title charges have gotten quite big over the past 5-6 years, and I get a large commission of that. So I don't feel like the need to overcharge my clients for work that's already going to be done anyway. And then on the sales side, you're looking at $450, just flat fee, no matter the size of the house again.
Yeah. Okay.
What about for the inspections?
Well, generally an inspection's around $350 for 2,000 square feet, and for like a 4,000 square foot home, you could be looking maybe $495. Just depends.
And I have to bring up a good point here. If you're shopping for an appraiser, this is not like shopping for soap and paper towels and toilet paper at Aldi and all these other big box stores and like Sam's Club and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, when you hire an appraiser, you don't say how much is your fee, because I had somebody call me and says, "What's your fee for appraising my house?" They told me how big the house was.
Well,
I gave them a fair price for the appraisal. They said, "I got a guy who knows a guy who could do the appraisal for $225." I said,
if you're from
"Oh my
Chicago,
gosh,
you got a guy."
Yeah.
Okay, so, you want to ask the appraiser this question. How many years have you been in the business? If they say 20 years, great. Are you associated with ICAP, Illinois Coalition of Appraisal Professionals, or Appraisal Institute? Great. And do you have your continuing education? And how many houses have you done here in Palos Heights? If they say I'm coming from
that's the biggest
Antioch
question.
on the Wisconsin border or Sugar Grove, they're driving an hour and a half to come here to Palos Heights to do your appraisal, and they're not affiliated with anybody. They're in the business 3 or 4 years. You just have to say no, because
the biggest thing is
you get what you pay for.
Well, the biggest thing is if you're used to know the area.
You get a lot more than you pay for.
Right.
Yeah, you're making your
I'm making money
on. But it's real important. It was my appraiser from the area.
We were just talking about health issues before the break. All right. If you're having open heart surgery, are you going to call around all these different hospitals and see who's got the cheapest open heart surgery prices? So when you call for an appraisal, your typical great reputable appraiser is going to charge about $350 for an appraisal. That's just what it is, because you're going to get my 34 years of experience, and it's going to be a really good job. If you're searching appraisers and home inspectors by price, that's not the way to do it.
It's like Armageddon. You ever remember that quote from Armageddon? You know, we're sitting on 10,000 pounds of jet fuel built by the lowest bidder.
Oh, my goodness. That's great.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, is that you need to look at reviews as well. I mean, we're in the technology age where you have so much information at your fingertips. I mean, if you look me up on the website, you're going to see nothing but 5-star reviews. So you want to be able to.
And I'm not 100% of everybody's going to be happy. I mean, I got a complaint. One of my guys. I don't even know if this is true, because we don't even know who this customer is. One of my guys left
anonymous tip. Yeah, I like those.
The furnace cover off. You know, when he came home and his house was cold. Those are pretty bush league mistakes. I don't believe that we made that mistake, because they don't leave their name or anything. But I do think competition does, kind of attack you on the reviews, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean. You got good reviews too. For me personally, you have good reviews. So
well, I mean, and I do. I got over 215 Google reviews. I had one and I like to be honest about this. I had one. My son just got his home inspection license last summer, but he's in college. He goes away in school in Iowa, and someone said, "Oh, I had my son do an inspection, and he missed all kinds of things." My son's never done an inspection. So I don't know where some of these come from, but you can't fight them. I mean, but. My point is, not all reviews are 100% true, anyways, good or bad. So, but you still need the reviews. And you know, I'm accredited by the Better Business Bureau, which is a big deal. Those are legitimate.
You've been doing
reviews.
this a long time.
Yeah, 15, 18 years. You've been doing this a long time.
34 years now. This is 2018 is my 34th year in the business.
Wow.
That in itself is a good review. I mean, if
That
you've been doing
itself is a good review.
If you've been
that
doing
means
it
you
that
screwed up
long,
and made all the mistakes.
if you've been doing this long, you're obviously doing a good job.
Yeah, you know, people call me and say, listen,
If I have somebody that's going to come and do a home inspection of my house, I want somebody like you who's been doing this 20 plus years.
they have done over
Or an
9,000.
attorney who's been doing this for so many years.
Yeah.
The experience counts.
Yeah, did you
11
make all the
years.
dumb mistakes?
11 years, that's a lot, yeah.
Yeah, listen, we all made dumb mistakes on
Learning.
the way. Oh my God. I mean, stupid things. But after a while, your brain gets trained. You know what to look for. You know what to do. And,
But
it's
the
very
key is we
difficult
go to
get anything by
continuing
you.
education every year.
And we're on
We
the
keep
field.
up to date on everything. We're in the field. We're up to date. We talk with our peers
Yeah. How often do you have to do CE? Every year?
every year.
Well, we do it every 2.
We have 2
I do it
appraisal
too.
courses per year, and because I'm a real estate broker, I have to take 2 real estate broker courses each year too. So, yeah.
Yeah, so, okay, you got to be honest, because we're every 2 years. I think we have to take, 12, I think it's 12 credit hours.
And I try to meet with local realtors in Chicago Southland over
Yeah.
lunch and tell me what's going on in your neighborhood, what's new.
Yeah. Yeah, but experience in this business, experience counts for sure.
Right. So if you're
For sure.
shopping for a home inspection and a appraisal, an attorney, it's not the cheapest price. I guarantee you that. It's experience.
Well, not the most expensive either. I think
Correct.
I think all of us. I mean, you're cheap because you're making your money
Elsewhere, yeah.
Yeah, and you're passing it on to the buyer. But in our business, I think we're right in the pocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't shop price. You want a professional, an experienced professional handling your job. And like if you hire somebody to do your deck or the remodeling of your home or some safety issues in the house,
Yeah.
the furnace, the air conditioner, the appraiser, and the home inspector, it's the same thing. You want to choose somebody who has good reputation, who knows what they're doing, and does quality work.
That's right. Who's just not going to run in and run out and put a nice report together. So what do you do when what do you do with, like? And I know we talk about this all the time, but people always ask me. I'm on my report. It's a square footage. I get it off of Zillow. So, but that's where I go.
Zillow's been sued so much the last couple of years for misrepresenting property values and giving
Yeah.
incorrect information. Typically, your tax assessors are good because on the appraisal, there's square footage reported by the appraiser above grade and below grade. But sometimes the real estate agents and
Yeah, you
other
don't count
people
the basement,
combine
right?
it all together and say, I have a 2,400 square foot home, when actually you have a 1,200 square foot home and there's 1,200 square foot below grade. So it's kind of tricky, but
Yeah, but you don't count the basement, right?
it's counted in a separate section on the appraisal.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yes, but you don't count the below grade with the above grade. That's how it's always been.
So when you give a square footage price, that's just above grade though, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because people ask me all the time, and it's almost to the point where I might just not put the square footage in the house.
Your easiest house to get the square footage is your ranch. It's length times the width.
It's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
And if you have a split level, you have the first level length times width plus the second level length times width.
Yeah.
And then there's the lower partial basement. A lot of that split levels here in Palos Heights. And then on a 2-story is easy also. It's length times width of the first floor times 2.
Yeah.
It's a 2-story. And some appraisers, which is true, and even the tax assessor, you got to take out that 180 square foot of the foyer because on the second floor is not the same footprint of the first floor. The second floor has the opening
Yeah.
where the foyer is, so it's a little less.
So I always get that the square footage is wrong, and the amps are always wrong in the house too. It's often. Oh, they
I'll
said
leave
they
that
had
up to you
200
on the amps.
They had
Appraisers
200
can't
amps.
do that.
It's 100 amps.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those are questions I get all the time. So I'm almost at the point where I'm going to start taking the square footage out. But you know,
I have a quad level in my bottom, like I have the obviously go up
like
the
a
stairs.
Forester type of home?
No, it's not a
Oh,
Forester.
okay.
So you walk in the house. There's my kitchen, my dining room area. You walk down the stairs, but it's only like you don't walk. It's not like a large stairs. It's just like
Couple,
4 or
3
5
steps,
stairs.
yeah.
And then I have the bottom level, and then you go down another 6 stairs, and I have the sub basement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you go up the stairs, and I have my top floor.
Yeah.
Right.
So
You only count the
once
2 levels above grade, and
Only 2?
those 4 or 5 steps below, it's still below grade.
even if
It's 1 foot below grade.
it's 1 foot, okay.
Correct.
That was
English
my question.
basement, whatever. You don't count those.
We
you got
that's
handrails
how we
on your
get.
stairs?
Huh?
You have handrails on your stairs?
Not right now because we're moving out, but
Okay.
they'll be installed
So if you
again.
have a
when I
quad
move back in.
level,
Yeah.
it's 1,200 above grade and 1,200 below.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Approximately.
Yeah.
Let's say you have 600 square feet of the living room, dining room, kitchen. You go up the 5 stairs to the 3 bedrooms and a bath. Lower level is always the family room, laundry room, 1 bathroom, and maybe a bedroom, and then there's sub-basement. Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
Good. Hey, how are your electric bills at your office?
Oh, like $30. Yeah.
So what happened, we went into Frank's place and we retrofit all his 2x4 light fixtures in his office. So when you go see him in his office, you're going to see all these nice little new pretty lights up there.
You did that?
Yeah. So we went from 40 watts times 4 lamps down
It was
to
8 lamps.
Yeah, down to we put LEDs in. So you're down to like almost nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can leave them on 24/7 and
Yeah. It's nothing.
but it does. I mean, it's a little more. With LEDs and Compix, it's a little more outlay as far as money up front. But in the long run, you're going to save a lot of money. Yeah. But I meant to ask you that for the last couple shows.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
And what do you now? One other question too is when you get involved. I mean, you're pretty confident that the financing is going to go through, right?
Oh, I ask for pre-approvals, and I look into that stuff beforehand.
And if you don't feel comfortable about it, you just say, "Hey."
It's not I feel comfortable about because pretty much everyone's got to have a pre-approval before they start moving forward.
Yeah.
But I get in contact with the lender directly.
Oh, you do?
And talk to them to kind of see what they've done and where they're at. Have all the documents been submitted, or are you just basically going off what the person told you and pull the credit
Okay.
report?
Yeah.
I want to know what they went to the next level before we start getting into the nitty-gritty of the contract.
Gotcha. Because I had an inspection just the other day in Cal City that the girl called me and says, "Hey, we got to hold off." I was literally on the way. The attorney said, "Hold off. There's a little glitch in the contract." That stuff goes on too, right?
Oh, absolutely, all the
Yeah.
time. I mean, I'm always asking for extensions on inspection because work schedules, people can't get out there. I mean, there's stuff that comes
And
up.
radon.
Well, yeah.
Radon, just shoot me. Radon is the biggest pain in the rear end.
January is National Radon Awareness Month. Did you know that?
I know. I heard that
I
on
know that.
TV. Basically, radon. I'm not a radon expert. I'm not licensed, but you check it out for yourself. But basically, radon is radiation that comes through the earth, decaying uranium, comes through the earth, comes through the cracks in your basement floor, clings on radiation clings on the air particles. You breathe it in. They say it's number 2 behind cigarettes for lung cancer. I don't know, but listen, for $1,500 or $2,000, if you can knock that out of the box, why not do it?
I have one in my house.
Yeah, my house too. Did you ever? If you probably know. Do you have your house tested for radon?
No, I did not. I'm gonna have to do that.
There you go. I knew that was a big no.
No.
But that's a big house.
But
You need to have
90%,
that.
I would say 90% of everybody listening to us right now, they have not had a radon test.
Yeah. Yep. And I mean, I don't do radon tests. If you want to call me, 708-935-3453.
There's a couple of new construction subdivisions that I've done, Plainfield actually, where the builder puts the
Well, that's law now.
The passive radon.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's a law now.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
Yeah, with the new builders and a lot of the communities.
There's the PVC piping, the white piping in the ground, and then it vents out to the side of the house.
Right. There's just no fan on it. That's why it's called a passive. one.
Okay.
Yeah, but the
All
new
right.
ones are going right through the attic. But the ones you're talking about is with a fan. They look like a little. The fan is a retrofit.
Okay.
Looks like a little spaceship. But you that's an inline fan, booster fan. You get at Home Depot.
So radon is easily remediated if you get somebody knows what to do.
For the most part, yeah.
Most part, right.
You want a licensed radon mitigation company.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whoever tests your radon can't be the one installing it.
Really?
Yeah. So I know that's Illinois law, but listen, I'm not a licensed radon person. If you have any questions, 708-935.
Oh my God! Now next week I'm going to call a radon guy to test my
Yeah.
house. That's okay.
708-935-3453. And hey, let's just do around Frank.
Frank Vossholler, law office is Frank L. Vossholler III, 708-341-2060, or frankvossholler@hotmail.com.
Randy Barcella, I'm a residential real estate appraiser covering all of Northern Illinois, and a lot of you may also be listening to my radio show on AM 560 WIND every Sunday morning at 8:30, and you can go to that site, www.realestaterevealed.net, REVEALED.net. Tells you all about my biography, testimonies. If you need to contact me directly, 708-870-9400. Text me or call me, 708-870-9400. And a special bonus for the new year right now. If you call me or text me and said you saw us on House Talk, I'm going to give you a free Bonefish Grill appetizer gift card. This is Bonefish Grill in Orland Park. Nice restaurant. It's a big bowl of shrimp. It's free. Just say you heard Tim Kerfin, House Talk, and any one of us, and I'll send you this gift card.
Last year you were giving away a bowl of soup,
Was it?
and the year before that was a tie, wasn't it?
Really? I love the gift cards.
Hey, both
I'm
fish
Tim
grills great
Kerfin,
food.
Kerfin Inspection, 708-935-3453. Go to kerfininspections.com. And anyways, guys, this was a good show.
Are we ended the show already?
Yeah, I mean, are we going to do this next month?
Yeah.
That's good, yeah.
Okay, we'll kind of keep this going. And my stupid phone again. So anyways, hey, thanks for watching Tim Kerfen's House Talk. Have a great new year, and we will see you next month.